And as you may have heard, the Accra Psychiatric Hospital has reviewed upwards charges for services to the public with immediate effect, and it started today, and the decision is to help the hospital generate enough funds to run its operations.
Not released the facility's annual subvention of over 5 million cedis. This has left the health facility in a debt of about 15 million cedis owed suppliers. The situation is same as similar facilities offering such services as Pantang in Accra and Ankerful in Cape Coast. According to the Deputy Director in charge of nursing services at the hospital, Emmanuel Papo, there are no funds to run the facility.
For so many years and months now, the money meant for this hospital is not coming. We are owing contractors, we are owing food suppliers, we are buying drugs for them, we are paying for their physical care.
Old patients coming for review will pay 25 cedis, while new patients will pay 40 cedis. Consultation for old patients is 10 cedis, while new ones will pay 30 cedis. Admission for non-VIP is 300 cedis a week, while VIP is 600 cedis. A nurse at the hospital tells us how the staff have braced up for patients' complaints over the new charges.
From tomorrow going, if new cases come, I'm sure they'll complain because most of them are not well to do. So I think they'll struggle a bit.
The notice announcing the new charges has been posted in all corners of the hospital. Meanwhile, the striking nurses claim their monies have not yet hit their accounts, so they are surprised with media reports about their payment.
As I speak to you now, nothing has hit our accounts. And we've even heard that they paid 133 psychiatric nurses. We, the nurses here alone, we are above 100. So when we head over that figure, there were some kind of doubt. But we say once the minister have released, we need to check from our administration, then we can confirm as to whether the amount is for us alone or the other hospitals also included. And even if the arrears involved is what they've actually paid.
And we have been joined on the phone by the head of the Psychiatry School of Medicine and Dentistry at the University of Ghana, Dr. Sami Ohene. A very good evening, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. First of all, you've heard the reasons the psychiatric hospital have stated that they need to meet the operational cost, which is in excess of 15 million, and government gives them just about 5 million. Your thoughts on the increment, given the reasons they have also stated?
Well, I mean, if you don't have money, you can't run the hospital. And as far as I'm aware, this year, the central government has not provided 1 penny. Any money that came to the psychiatric hospital was in fact provided by the Mental Health Authority, which itself has not received any money from the government of Ghana. The only money that I'm aware the Mental Health Authority has is grants given by the DFID. You know, so it's a very dire situation. They're owing contractors who supply food. There's no money to do anything in the hospital. So, caught in a situation like this, their only options are either to charge, which I must say is strictly speaking against the law, or to close down the hospital.
Okay, but in this case, they've decided to charge even those services that were not charging.
They have no other. They don't generate any income. They are not allowed to. The law says that Ghana will provide psychiatric services to the end user free. This presupposes that the people of Ghana's taxes will be used to support the hospital. Okay. In the past, a little money would come in. They never actually ever met the budgetary requirements. But this year, and I believe last year, absolutely no money whatsoever has been given to the hospital. It's even a miracle that they've remained open up till now.
Okay.
So we need the money.
Okay.
I'm not even sure that whatever they'll generate from this will be enough to be able to do very much.
Okay. So, why do you think that's the case? The government hasn't shown, aren't giving them enough funds to run the operations, one. Also, in this country, we seem to have a certain view of people with mental illness. Sometimes we don't even consider it as illness.
Well, I believe that stigma definitely does play a role, because even when they used to provide some money, if you look at the whole of the health budget, the proportion that goes to mental health was extremely small. And yet, if you took the statistics of overall health problems anywhere in the world, mental health disorders, account for a very high proportion. But for some reason, they are heavily discriminated against. But beyond that, recently, it's not just that they are not getting what they are supposed to get. I'm telling you that now they are getting no money whatsoever.
Okay. So, what's the implications of that? Charging for services that they were previously not charging. For some, the fears are that, well, it means that people won't be able to send their relatives or friends and loved ones to the place when they need help. Precisely
so. Precisely that. I mean, when people can't afford a service, unfortunately, they'd have to do without it. I mean, it's very sad. It's unfortunate. It means that perhaps many people are going to resort to, ineffective treatments like herbalists and all sorts of spiritual homes and things like that. Then what they need is to be seen by professionals in a mental health facility like the psychiatric hospital.
Okay.
It's very sad. I think it's a very dire situation, and I would wish that the people of Ghana would speak out, because it affects everybody.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything the psychiatric hospital has to do on its own to get government attention?
Well, as far as I'm aware, they've done everything that they can do. They've been to the ministry, I know, on countless occasions. They've written letters, they've written memos. The nurses have, been on strikes and drawn attention to the problems. I believe the press itself has been allowed in and showed some of the, consequences, the poor food being served to patients with admission and things like that.
Okay.
And yet not very much seems to have come out. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just that they don't have money and they are not telling us. But whatever it is, they're not getting the money.
Okay. So where do we go from here?
Well, I guess now that we've reached rock bottom and with a program like this, I'm hoping that there will be some kind of response from the government.
Okay.
And the consequences are more than what you're seeing.
Okay.
Medications, for example, for the last 2 years, there's been no supply of medications from the government. Any medication that you see there is a donation, even the ones that patients are being given.
Okay, all right. Dr. Ohene-Sam, thank you very much for joining us. He's the head of the Psychiatry, School of Medicine and Dentistry, University of Ghana, talking about the current increment, the review of charges at the psychiatric hospital, saying, well, it's unfortunate, it's not allowed by law, but currently they are unable to run and so are forced to run. They haven't even received medication or medicines from the government for the last 2 years. What do you think about it? Tweet at me, Bridget_Otuna, read your thoughts on it. And he mentioned that indeed Ghanaians must make their voices heard to save the psychiatric hospital. There's more coming up here on News at 10. Stay.